NTR Network. We are back with another Super Tuesday Black Lightning recap. We here for season 2, episode 2. Not going to say the long title. Black Jesus Blues is the last part of the colon. So what did you all think of this week's episode? I'm going to start with you, Doctor.
It was frustrating in not a bad way. I liked getting more story with Issa. I liked seeing what Lynn was up to, and I feel like they might be positioning her to accidentally fall into being the bad guy, which it'll be an interesting character arc. But Anissa, I have never been rooting for Tobias to kill someone as much as I'm rooting for Tobias to kill Anissa right now.
That is a little bit understandable. We'll get more into Anissa when we get to her character. What about you, D? What do you think?
This seemed to be an episode about everybody acting out. Well, at least Jennifer and Anissa, because Anissa seemed to be really, I'll just say, enjoying her powers and enjoying the attention that she got, and Jennifer's continuing I don't want these powers. Just sort of not sort of at least accepting them, not necessarily being a superhero, but at least not accepting sort of what she had. And also the one sort of thing that kind of, there are a lot of, now I have questions about Khalil's character, where is his motivations? I guess one thing I kind of wish they'd have done was sort of introduce we see who the next principal is going to be. But overall, it wasn't a bad episode. It had its moments.
What about you, Parrish?
Khalil and Anissa need to die. That's it.
Parrish gets me. Okay. I'm just saying.
Okay, Parrish, why do they need to die? Because I would think that there might be different reasons for both.
I tried to root for Anissa. She's annoying as fuck. I'm just, and then Khalil is purposeless.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. Okay, so here's the thing. I like the episode. I particularly like Jennifer. I just love Jennifer. I do. I get her. She gets me. I feel like we are connected. I love that little girl. Anissa, I said this last week on the podcast. Anissa is very much so. She cares about her community. She cares deeply about things, but she wants to be the face. She is conceited and she wants to be the face of this movement, whatever it is. So she gets off on being Thunder because it means she gets to be a star. And so I think it's really interesting, and I'm really excited for them to explore it. I know it's going to piss me off because right now I don't like her, but I'm really excited for them to explore this idea, because when they set it up last season, it seemed very much like Anissa the activist, Anissa who cares about the community. And now I feel like they're getting into Anissa the superhero who wants attention. And I really hope that plays out throughout this season. And I'm hoping that Grace, since they brought her back, that she'll be the check for that.
What I did appreciate about Jennifer this week was that she's been pretty stable. And so when all that stuff popped off at the dinner table, I could have seen everybody like, oh, get this freak away from me. And instead of her, she's like, you know what, dude, let me help you out, because people are going to try to push you in a direction. You need to figure out what you want to do with this. So let's figure out how it works before people tell you how you should use it. I loved that she did that. That she did that.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's getting to the point where I kind of feel like she's the adult in the room in many situations, which, says something, I guess. But yeah,
Jennifer.
I like that, and I like how they didn't have her like fall back for Khalil.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like she turned around and he thought he was getting to her, and meanwhile she was turned around like, look, I'm going to destroy you if you don't walk away right now.
Mm-hmm. What I love about Khalil and Jennifer is that she does still care for him, but she is dealing with her own shit right now, and it's not this situation where she's just going to go running back to this kid who, you know, he did some really fucked up things, and yes, he's in a bad situation or whatever, but I was also kind of like, dude, it's not like you were like, I don't know, selling drugs because your grandmama like needed a kidney surgery. You decided that you got hurt, and then you decided it was Black Lightning's fault, and then you decided to take some fake legs and some experimental whatever to get better, and then decided to go after Black Lightning. You're acting like you just got caught up in some stuff. I never expected it to happen. No. So
but he's been rewriting history since the shooting, though.
Mm-hmm.
He's been rewriting history since the shooting, so it doesn't surprise me at all that he tried to revise it again, like we wasn't there.
Thank you.
But I appreciate the fact that she has the presence of mind to know that she's not obligated to save him. You know, she's not his babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that. I don't think many shows would go that route.
Mm-hmm. And then also she is dealing with her own stuff. And I love it because I don't think it's not just about not wanting to help or not wanting these powers. She doesn't know what that means for her life. Because if you think about it, the only superhero example that she has is her dad. And he had to give up being a superhero in order to have a regular life. So why would she want to be a superhero knowing that it might, if she is even able to have a family, that it'll mess up her family?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so weird to me that Anissa is acting like her reasons for not wanting to have powers aren't valid. Like, well, you should just get over that, because don't you want to go out there and help people? And it's like, girl, you don't even really want to go out there and help people. You want to go out there and help people so that you can, you know, feel good about yourself and, you know, sashay around in them tight pants. That's all Anissa wants to do anyway.
Anissa wants to be worshipped, and I don't think she's recognized that that's what this has become. And it's interesting because it's almost a metaphor from what we see some of these activists that are kind of falling from grace, because it's being revealed that, oh, you're not really about helping people. Maybe you were at one point, but then the fame and the accolades went to your head, and now it's all about just you and how you can come up and be recognized in this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, she has a blue check mark now. That's what it is.
I'm not trying to get canceled this week, so I'm just keep my thoughts to myself.
I'm grown, and the internet is not my life. Come at me. All I'm saying.
I mean, facts is facts.
The ones that, and hit dogs holler, the ones that's going to take offense at what I just said is the very ones I'm talking about. And the rest of y'all know what I'm talking about and won't take offense. So there it is.
Oh my God. But seriously though, Twitter be handing out them blue check marks. Because the other day somebody said something ridiculous. And then I went and I saw that they were verified. And then I went to, you know, because usually in the bio, it's like, oh, I'm a journalist, or, oh, I'm a this. So you're like, oh, I can understand why this person is verified, even if I don't know who they are. This dude was just regular old Joe Schmo from around the block who had a check mark and said some stupidness. And I was like, they just handing these out to anybody, huh? It's just candy. I'm so pissed. Okay, but good thing about Anissa is a pimp. Anissa is the Sarah Lance of Freeland. She is Mrs. Still Your Girl. I love that. And she has no game. That's what makes it so funny, because her game is actually lightweight corny.
Right.
That's what bugged me about that entire scene. I'm like, but you're not even smooth, number one. And number two, I'm like, what about my girl Grace? We just forgot about my girl Grace?
Well, this is the thing. If we're being honest, we haven't seen Grace since midway through last season. So I wasn't surprised that she wasn't still seeing Grace. I was a little hurt because when she hit on old girl, but it also just felt like she was just trying to hook up. It didn't feel like she was trying to have a relationship. So I was like,
yeah, I agree though. She falls backwards into fine women, and I understand it because I don't like her character at this point. I don't get it.
That's why I refuse to acknowledge her in the same universe as Sarah Lance, because I like Sarah. I don't like Anissa.
Okay, but in her defense, in
I
her
have a question about Anissa. I tend to think that Anissa is sort of acting out because she's been maybe the good girl for so long. And maybe this is just, maybe this is something she's always wanted to do and now she just has the opportunity.
No, she hasn't. She's always been countercultural and rebellious.
Right.
Just in her activism alone.
So I think of it more as, are you talking about like her in her sexuality, or are you talking about in her being a superhero?
Now, what was the first thing you said? Her what?
In her sexuality or in being a superhero?
Not her sexuality. No. Probably just more her being a superhero. She has that. I don't know. She, at least, like we said in the beginning, in the first season, she was sort of in it for the cause, but now powers have, gotten to her head.
Yeah, I think it's really just that. I think because we saw pretty early on last season, after her becoming Thunder, that it did turn into a thing almost immediately. It's like people on the streets like, oh, there's Thunder and da, da, da. So I think it has gone to her head. And I think it's also something that was always a part of her. Because, when she was doing that stuff at school before she got her powers, it still very much was like her wanting to be like a figurehead. Like she just wasn't a person in the crowd. She was organizing these things. So I think she does get off on being the leader and being the one in charge.
I think she'll probably eventually be reined in.
Oh, I think it's going to be Grace. I really think it's going to be Grace. Remember when we first met her too, like Grace was into the whole idea of superheroes and stuff like that. And I think Grace is going to be the one to check her.
Okay.
Because it doesn't work with her parents doing it. She already has an inclination to rebel against whatever they say.
Right. It's going to have to be up here.
Yeah.
Someone, yeah.
And calling her on her bullshit.
What if it's any odds that it's Jennifer?
It could be Jennifer, but since Jennifer is not even necessarily interested in superheroing right now. And also they need to give Grace something to do that isn't just like being a love interest. But yeah. Also, can we talk about the fact that I think they still don't know how to write Anissa? Because they keep...
Is it that they don't know how to write her, or she doesn't know how to act her?
No, they don't know how to write her. Because I'm convinced it's the writing. It's like they keep telling us that Anissa is really smart, but not showing us. There's nothing that she like does. For instance, this was more of a Jefferson thing. But what I kind of like about The Flash is you see how smart Barry is. Especially when he's fighting. So you'll see him fight and be like, oh, this person's powers are this, so I have to do this to counteract it. I just don't see that with Anissa. Like, she's supposed to be really smart. They keep telling us she's, leaving. Mind you, she got dressed up in that really cute bathing suit just to turn right back around and say she had to go to class.
Yeah,
So it's stuff like that where I'm like, okay. But also, they keep talking about her going to class and going to school and being real smart, but never showing us her doing anything that shows that she's smart.
That whole scene, intro scene with Zoe was really, really awkward, just in general.
The whole felt like it by someone writing fan fiction. I'm just like, the lines between them, I'm like, and then when she said, "Oh, this works if you shoot," I'm like, that worked? What? That worked?
Even from the beginning, like, why was she rocking so hard to that pumpkin spice ass song?
Oh my God. Okay. So while she was two-stepping or whatever she was doing, I was literally like, but the beat isn't even that. The beat is kind of a little smooth for all that hard rocking. Like, what are you doing?
Did you pay attention to the lyrics?
They at the coffee house, she at the club.
The lyrics. I'm like, who wrote this?
Probably the same person who wrote the theme song.
I feel like the same person who wrote her "Mitochondrial is a powerhouse of cells and equals MC squared" wrote the lyrics of that song, because they didn't make sense either.
Oh
got a promotion.
Oh my God, it was terrible.
Is that singer anyone I should know?
I didn't think so. So here's what happened was that I kept trying to Shazam it while
I was going. I got nothing.
And I got nothing.
Yeah, I looked her up on IMDb. I don't remember what came up. It wasn't anything that indicated to me that like she was a pop star or anything like that. There was.
It feels like they just hired her. They were like, we're looking for an actress that can sing, and we're gonna have an original song written for you by our original song guy.
I feel like is she who I think she is?
She was in Pitch Perfect 3.
If you watch Dear White People, the movie, she wrote the song Stalker, or performed the song Stalker. And I guess she wrote some music from New Girl. I know her name from somewhere. I feel like I've heard a song by her.
What's her name?
Andy Allo.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was in Pitch Perfect 3, which I did not watch because after Pitch Perfect 2, I was like, I'm good.
Those movies. So
she sing Down on My Knees. I feel like she wrote Down on My Knees, and I actually did like that song.
I got nothing. All I know is no. Like, just no. But, like I said, and this is the Sarah Lance of Freeland. So, get yours, girl. Because she walked over with all of the confidence of a person who knew they had game and had none.
I don't understand it.
She was like she might as well have been like, girl, you thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. Like,
pretty much. I mean, she did hit it with the dirty old uncle game.
Yes. That's why I was like, wait, is this okay? I say, is this how ladies hit on other ladies? Like, they use old man lines. Like,
I never thought that kind of game actually worked.
Exactly.
Don't.
It doesn't.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Like, she was just like, I'm gonna, get you, you gonna sing for me just butt naked in some heels. So I was like, what?
Hey, girl.
I feel like if it was any other situation, we would all be like, security?
He got right behind her though, because when they walked out, there was this big black dude walking right behind them. She had security with her when she was throwing all them trash ass lines.
No, nah.
I'm like, dude, bro, you ain't doing your job. Step in.
But I was totally thinking, look, no dude would ever be able to say any of that. No. That's kicked out.
No. Kicked out immediately. I'm like, how did she even know she was gay? Like, or like bi or what? I don't know.
The whole you was looking at me.
I'm like, people when they sing, they look out at the audience. I think that's the first thing they tell you to do.
That's some standard dude stuff, though. Yo, she was looking at me, yo. Like me. Nah, she was just looking in your direction, dude.
Oh, God. I can't. And then the other thing that got me, which was just another like, and this is not very smart moment, was when she was all like, these powers are a gift from God. And then like Jennifer was like, well, what about them is from God? And she's like, I haven't had cramps since I got my powers. That was the best you could do? I haven't had cramps?
Further reinforcing that she's not as smart as everybody keeps claiming she is.
Just like, I was like, that's it? Like, the same, thing that can happen from taking some leave? Like, I just,
Right.
Why? I can't with Anissa. I need to, and like I said, I need them to write her better, or I need her, maybe as an actress, maybe she could speak up to the writer's room. I just don't know. I feel like the writer's room, from what I've seen in terms of like, usually when they're like, oh, like Black Lightning writers, it feels like it's very dude heavy. It feels like there's a lot of guys in the writer's room, and I don't feel like they know how to write women, and especially not smart women.
Apparently not gay women.
Yeah, definitely not gay women.
Yeah, I mean,
all their lines sound like old dude lines.
I mean, not just guys, but like guys that don't seem to pay attention to their wives or their daughters or anything. It's just like, it just doesn't seem to be particularly sensitive to like anyone who has a woman in their presence.
Yeah.
Weird.
It just does not make sense to me.
Well, maybe the lines were on purpose, and maybe she thought they would just be funny.
It wasn't written that way, though. It was written as though it was serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but I guess what I mean is maybe she thought, I don't know, maybe she, Nafessa got together with the writers and said, just write this because it'll be, at least I'll think it's funny coming out of my mouth.
I'm not trying to put the blame on the actress for what those men wrote. No.
Yeah.
Nope, not doing it.
I just, no, I feel like if she's asking for lines like this, then no, sweetie, no. But also, I don't know what the dynamic is between the actors in the writing room and how much like agency they have. Right now, I think in terms of the women on the show, probably Jennifer is the best written because she's the most consistent. Lynn still goes, one week she's this way, the next week she's this way, and Anissa's all over the place. I can't with her. But definitely, like, I would say Jennifer's the most consistent in terms of who her character is. And I think that's part of it is because I think they have a clear idea of where they want Jennifer to go. And I don't know if I see that with the other characters yet.
The other thing about Anissa that bugged me was this, and this has nothing to do with the actress, but again, the way it was written. The beginning of the episode, Anissa's getting ready to work out, and Jennifer's like, but why? Well, the more I work out, the more I build up my lung power, and the longer I can hold my breath. And then we see her in the middle of a battle taking a breath like every time she does one thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but you just said 5 minutes ago. And honestly, previous episodes, you didn't have to take a breath every time you did something. So,
well, I think.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
So I think a part of that is that I think that the director or the writers understandably realize that like her taking a breath like every 10 seconds is going to be incredibly annoying to watch. I don't know why they were. So I was fine with her not taking the breaths. I don't know why they reverted back because it really stood out to me this week.
Yeah.
I was wondering if, so like the taking the breath thing makes her like denser, but also, so last week when she was fighting, it felt like she needed to be bulletproof. And so it felt like maybe she was holding her breath for that. Mm-hmm. But this week, it wasn't fighting so much as she was trying to like have enough strength to move things, because she was saving the people that when Wendy came and created the windstorm, she was saving people, but like by moving things off of them, things that have fallen. So I wondered if it was that, like needing to like having to exert so much energy to push things. Like that's why she was taking breaths more often. That was me applying probably way more logic than the writers do.
I would agree with that last statement you just said, yes.
It makes perfect sense. It's just, there's again, I think there's the logic and like the internal physics of it, and the fact that her doing it regularly on the show is just distracting as hell.
It's so annoying. It's so annoying. Oh my God. I want to talk about Wendy and Issa and these green light children. So I liked this idea of this girl coming out of this pod and it's 30 years later. And like, what do you do with that? Besides the fact that she was going through her whole like psychotic thing, no one that she knows and loves even lives in Freeland anymore. And I think that would be also with Gambi being the spotter, the person who put a lot of these kids in these pods in the first place. I think that would be a really cool arc over the course of this season. Seeing some of these green light pod kids from 30 years ago come out.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they really could do like in the beginning of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where it started off kind of like the villain of the week, but giving kind of a background of that villain and before they went in and came out. I mean, if they wanted to change the way that they structured the show, I think that would really work. I think that would be really interesting.
So that was what was really cool. Is I was like, oh, we got Wendy, and then on the other hand, we have Issa, and he is one of these kids who took green light and has since developed powers, and this whole idea that because he artificially developed powers that it's also breaking his body down. I was like, oh, this is really interesting, these two contrasting things. And then at the end, Wendy goes back in the pod. No attempt to, because I'm like, it's only been 30 years. They didn't say her family died. They just said they didn't live in Freeland anymore.
No, her parents were dead. They said her family was gone.
Okay. Oh,
you didn't have any.
I thought they said her family like was gone, like had moved, like they no longer lived there. And I was just like
her parents had died, and all like the extended family and friends had moved away.
Okay. Still, she has a family. Like there was no attempt made to contact her family at all, which I thought was weird. And then she just ended up going back in the pod. So I was like, well, I guess that's one way to end that story. And again.
I mean, it is a little weird because, you would think that you would at least make it. First of all, there's the whole preparedness thing, right? So going back to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like immediately they designed, a containment area where people had that would neutralize people that had powers. Mm-hmm. Why would they not do something like that on this show? They even did it in Flash.
Mm-hmm. And then also it feels like it opened a door for us to really talk about Gambi and what he did in the past. And then that door just kind of closed with her going back away.
Did it though? Because I think probably one way that they might try to introduce more of the pod babies, for lack of a better term, because let's see, what's his name? Tobias has to get those metahumans somehow.
Yeah,
I'm assuming he's going to be involved with getting them out. So I assume somehow Gambi is going to become involved in this storyline. It's just
But why get out people you can't necessarily control when you've already figured out how to create them by giving them the pills? Mm-hmm. That's why I'm nervous for Issa, because he's out there and I could see Tobias going after him.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like these people from years and years ago, they don't know Tobias enough to be like, oh yeah, I can trust you. But the kids who he cultivated, or the people he cultivated by giving green light, they're a little more malleable. Like, oh, you know me, I got you. You know what I can do, blah, blah, blah.
And also, like, your families don't want you and are afraid of you.
Yep.
It'll also be interesting, because what I could also see, which I think would be a good storyline, is Gambi knows what these kids' powers are, at least the ones that he spotted from 30 years ago. So I could see the government also trying to use these kids.
Well, that's what Bill Duke said.
Yeah, he hinted at it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, that could be useful if cultivated. And she's like, the dude is dying. Mm-hmm. But that's what made me wonder, are we getting a heel turn with Lynn? Because she's like, well, because she made it seem like, I just want you to do what's best for you, Issa. And then when he leaves, yeah, well, now we get to see what happens with him out in the environment. I'm like, did you just turn this baby into a lab rat without him knowing?
I mean, he was always going to be a lab rat. That's the thing. And that's why it still frustrates me that they just have these kids in pods. And nobody is talking about the fact that they have families.
Well, no, they are. But remember, the government won't give the kids back. That's what Anissa stole all that money for, so they could sue to get the kids out.
But that's what I'm saying is like, they're treating all these kids like lab rats, like they don't have families. Like give them their babies back.
Well, I feel like that's a parallel for what's going on with these detention centers and minors being taken into court and signing away their rights. Like they're not 5 and can't barely read their ABCs, much less a legal affidavit.
Mm-hmm. True. All right. We are going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we are going to talk about Jefferson and the new principal, Master Lowry.
What if you're more than you think you're meant to be? What if you're right? Arun Kerala is a 16-year-old Muslim boy. He is also the reincarnation of Jesus. But discovering you're a teenage godhead isn't easy. Arun goes on a journey of self-discovery. He faces villains both supernatural and societal. He is Young God. Young God is the original comic project written by MTR Network's Shanna and illustrated by artist Tara Simone. You can support this original comic story at patreon.com/younggod. Check out younggod.mtrnetwork.net for more information.
So Jefferson is now in a pickle. He has been asked to step down as principal of Garfield High. And on top of it, they want him to support the new incoming principal, who Robert Townsend informs him is a white guy. They pulled the old switcheroo on Jefferson.
Well, I mean, Jefferson had to put it together, though. He didn't volunteer that information.
Oh, no. It was great. It was a great meeting. He's like, well, we really need you to support the new principal. And he's like, okay, like, sure. And he's like, and we need you to do it like completely and with no hesitation. He's like, he's like, what are you getting at? That meeting that he had with the adults, that was the teachers, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So nobody is happy. The teachers are like, you're just abandoning us. The kids.
I'm not like, did you not hear the part where he said he was fired? Come on, people.
We talked about it last week. I'm saying it again. The fact that Jefferson still cares enough to try and make this transition smooth when not like 2-3 weeks ago, they were trying to fire his ass.
Right. He really is Black Jesus.
Yeah, Black Jesus. Like, Black Jesus lives, because I would have been like, fuck you, you're cool. And I'm out.
Like, fuck all y'all.
Yeah, Jefferson's way nicer than I am. So the new principal is a white dude. I just looked right before we started recording. There are no pictures of him. The IMDb does not list who it is. I'm like, is he at least going to be sexy? Like, can we get any indication of who this dude is? I haven't heard any casting news.
Are we sure it's actually going to be a white guy?
The title of this episode is Master Lowry.
Okay, let me put it this way. Do we think he's going to be long for this job?
Oh, no. I mean, totally by the end of the season, Jefferson's going to have his job back. They're going to fuck
I would say maybe by the end of the episode.
Oh, no.
Or at least the white guy will be gone by the end of the episode.
No.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Nah. They move fast, but I don't think they're going to move that fast. I think they need to give Jefferson some real stakes in it. So I don't think it's going to move that fast. But I do think by the end of the season, Jefferson has his job back.
But can we talk about, okay, so my man that kept stepping up at the assembly, at the kids' assembly, was the same one who he was like, okay, yeah, my language, but dude, they searching your car. That's that boy. Can we talk about his "Oh Captain, my Captain" moment? Because that shit brought me to tears.
Oh my God, I loved it. I loved it so much. I got, I'm not going to lie, got a little misty in the room. I was like, this is beautiful.
I'm not ashamed. I cried.
I love it so much.
He got it that time.
Mm-hmm. He, what is that kid's name? Is it Marcellus?
I can't remember.
It was something very black. I just love him. I loved him. Tavon. That's his name. I love him. He is so sweet.
You gonna make me find it. Hold on. Keep talking.
No, that's his name. Yeah.
Talking about the speaker.
Oh, you're talking about the clip? Yes, I love him. He's adorable. He's the way he did that, it was just, I was like, look at Jefferson having his lean on me moment. It was so great. You ready for the replay?
Are you ready is the question.
I hate you.
You love me. Here we go.
I love Garfield. I loved it as a student. Loved it as a teacher. And I've loved it as a principal. But when the school reopens, I will no longer be principal of Garfield High.
Why?
I need you to hear me. I wanted to be the one to tell you so that you know that I still have love for my students. Okay, look, it is a fact the school was attacked. It is a fact that I was not here during the attack or its aftermath. The board has decided that these facts are unacceptable. And they're right. I accept full responsibility for the consequences of my actions, as I would expect from each and every one of you. But I'm not going anywhere. I am honored to remain at Garfield as a teacher. And I will give my full support to the new principal. Thank you for always teaching me.
Where's the future?
Right here. Mine. Live it by any means necessary.
I'm about to cry again.
Sometimes in our lives.
I was trying to keep it cool, but I was really thinking we don't want a good principal. We want Mr. Clark.
Sam's, get up here and sing the song.
Oh, Jesus.
Fair East Side.
Who taught them this? That's you.
Oh, God.
Rest in peace, Robert Leone. Rest in peace.
Oh, I'm telling you, they should let me write this show. So great. Oh my gosh. Oh, yes. I'm really excited. I want to know why they're calling this new principal Master Lowry. That's all I really want to know. It's going to be great. I feel like I'm trying to go through my notes. Anything else that I did not touch on?
Tobias slapping the shit out of Khalil.
Ooh, okay. Let's talk about...
We haven't talked about Tobias. We ain't nowhere close to being done. He's closing loose ends.
So Tobias is... He's back. He's back with his Negro-hating ways. His first line of the evening. Negroes always fixing their thick lips with excuses. Yeah, he's just back in full force, being just every bit of ain't shit. And he's cleaning up loose ends. He's tying up all of the loose ends right now. What do we think Tobias has planned next? Why do we think he's tying up these loose ends?
He's coming for them green light babies.
I mean, but do you think that's it? Because I don't know. It feels like there's a bigger plan than that. It also, because remember, Tobias was thought to be dead.
Yeah.
So it feels like he's trying to keep that going. Because nobody has seen him except for Black Lightning. Like, Jefferson knows he's still alive, but the rest of the world doesn't know he's still alive. So it felt like he's trying to remain dead.
What I think, I mean, whatever, it seems like whatever is in that that suitcase it seems like it allows you to make metahumans.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the fact that may mean he's coming for Gambi, because he showed up in Gambi's face like, what you doing, dog?
Well, I guess that's my thing that I'm wondering is if he has the ability to just make more metahumans, why isn't that the thing he's doing right now? Why is he killing? Like, why is he tying up loose ends? What is he trying to keep secret, or who is he trying to keep away from him?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Just wonder, like, I feel like there has to be a larger plan than just make more metas.
Well, he said he was looking for an army, and it's not guns, it's metas. Mm-hmm. So actually, it's not exactly what he's trying to do.
But make an army for what?
Is this the show's way of setting up the 100 though?
Well, I don't know. The 100's already a gang. They already exist. Like,
that's right.
So I'm wondering, an army for what? Who is he ultimately trying to take down?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it has to be about more than just Freeland, you know, or taking down is the army to take down Black Lightning? Like, what is the grander plan?
Maybe the organization that Gambi that Gambi's at least was a part of. Mm-hmm. Maybe world dominate. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Yeah, it feels like there's more to this, and there's a particular reason why he's trying to stay in the shadows.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed he said that, you know, the objective was to make quote unquote Freeland his own little Somalia. So like he wants to be like the warlord of Freeland. Now I don't know what that entails in terms of the details, but
it also could be interesting because we talked about Tobias being able to manipulate people to his side. What would be really interesting is to see if Tobias could not only take over Freeland, you know, with force, but also with getting the people of Freeland on his side, considering how they've been treated by the government.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be a really, really interesting storyline for Tobias.
And a big coup, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Black Lightning couldn't get the job done. Maybe he can.
Yeah.
That actually, that's a good point. Because that's essentially what he did with Khalil.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
So I was like, you're shooting a lot of people. Where are you going with this? What's the end game here?
Breaking necks to former henchmen.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, the way he snapped that dude's neck. Yikes.
Dude knew it was coming. He was like, dude, but I'm your boy.
And then the whole time he thought he was yucking it up with his boy. The whole time he was telling the story, I was like, look, dude, you didn't messed up. Messed up.
I feel like he had to know. You had to know the way Tobias walked into the room that this is not going to be your day. This is not going to end how you thought it was going to end.
You can still play dumb though.
All right. Khalil and these locks though. Will we get a haircut?
Yeah, that shit need to go. Especially because you don't grow locks that fucking fast.
Yes.
So.
But that was the procedure though. It made his hair grow.
Bullshit.
I'm just telling you what the writers wrote.
I'm telling you the writers are fucking morons.
Also, that actor, he's a good looking dude with his regular haircut. I don't understand. It's like Walking Dead wigs. Although I will say, for a faux lock wig, it is a very nice wig comparatively to some of the CW wigs that we've seen. So I will give it that much. But they need to let that baby cut his hair again because it's just not the move. That's how we'll officially know he's not evil anymore, is when he cuts those locks off.
Which bullshit.
It's the problem all around.
If he cuts out the locks, imagine if he cuts out the locks and then shows up at Jennifer's house with some flowers. I would die.
Bullshit this.
All right. Music, some good music this week. I like the whole opening with Wendy and her powers, and they were playing John Coltrane in the intro.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciated that. I love when they get jazzy with it. The funk music, every single time Black Lightning has a action scene, más o menos. It's hit or miss. But I like the jazz.
It's awkward. Like they pick some awkward songs.
Mm-hmm. Right?
I wouldn't have picked that song when he and Anissa were getting suited up.
I wouldn't have
What you
picked.
see is what you get. Yeah, that was okay.
I wouldn't have picked them getting suited up in front of glass cases in the same room with each other. What the hell?
He wiped her booty when she was a baby. That's fine.
Darren, I'm telling you, you don't want to see your child past a certain age naked. It's just a thing.
I'm not saying I would change in front of my dad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's like we got work to do. Whatever. Like, who knows what she wears under that suit? Maybe she wears like some boy shorts and like a tank top.
No, man.
I guess I was surprised that the suits were in at Gambi's place and not with them.
But they don't have a secret hideout in their house.
Exactly. Where they gonna put it?
Who's coming in the house?
Everybody.
Yeah, apparently everybody.
That's why when I love when they realized that Issa's power was getting them to speak the truth.
Everyone just went.
They were like, disperse, stop right now. Because they all knew they had some shit that he couldn't hear. They were like, wait. And I love Jennifer. She was, when he was like looking at her and she's about to shoot, she was like, turn your head. Do not look me in the eye.
Yo, the quickness with which everybody just flopped in every direction from that table.
They were like, oh shit, he makes you tell the truth. I was like, y'all are the worst. Like that little boy sitting at the table lonely.
Could that be any more conspicuous though?
But you know what I also like that they haven't really like talked about, that it's not just like telling the truth. He makes them tell the worst truth. Yeah. Like the worst thing that they're thinking. Which is,
it's the raw truth, really.
Yeah. Like, but also it's like, you know how like there are some things that you think and you know they're bad, so you would never say them, or some things you don't even admit to yourself because there's such bad thoughts. Like that's the shit that comes out of your mouth around him. Like it's just like an extra layer of like me being my absolute worst.
Can't ever go to a cookout or a family reunion.
Oh hell no. That's why I like immediately he was like imagine like if I was around one of these like 100 gang members and my powers started working. I was like, yes, you will get someone shot with the quickness.
Like, you sure you don't want to go in that pod, baby? I'm just saying.
That's why that was another reason why I thought it was weird that they were like, oh, Wendy's going back in the pod and Issa's staying out of the pod. And I was just kind of like, but Wendy's power is useful. You could train her up. She could be the next Storm. But we gonna let this like old horrible truth-telling boy stay out in the streets. It just didn't make sense to me.
He can't go nowhere.
No. His poor sister, poor Tiffany.
He can't go to the basketball court. He can't go to the community center. He can't go to family reunions. He can't go to a spades game.
You reneged. Oh my God.
He is worse for the black community than anything.
Oh, I also love that Jennifer told him about her smoking. She was like, look, you make people tell the truth, but can't nobody make you tell the truth.
Bitches get stitches.
I love Jennifer so much.
It was brilliant.
Oh my God. When she was out there on her roof smoking weed again, I was like, that's my girl. That's why I fucks with her. Love her so much.
Your mama don't know I'm out here.
I know. I was like, she's like the wardens. Love her. But it was also interesting to me that she's trying to help Issa control his powers. And I'm like, girl, you have done nothing to try and control yours. Like, what is your strategy there? Because she has not done any. And I feel like part of it is because she's trying not to control her powers because she knows that her family wants her to like be a part of this whole superhero thing that she doesn't want to be a part of. So I feel like that's part of it. But she really needs to sit down and figure out what triggers her powers, how to make it work for her.
Yeah.
And she's just not doing that at all, which I'm surprised by.
If only for the safety of everybody around her. I mean, she did damn near electrocute her mama last week.
Yeah. And that's why I'm like, you help this boy figure out his powers in about 2 minutes. What are you doing for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, but you can buy. I mean, she's still in a state of denial, so you can still buy it. She is the character that I like everyone else has said. She's the one that's the most believable to me.
Mm-hmm. I love her. I just do. Mm-hmm. Even though sometimes, okay, no, I'm not going to say that. See, it's a good thing that people can't make you tell the worst truth. I was going to say something really rude. I'm going to keep it to myself because I'm better than that.
Too much.
Are you now? Are you now?
All right. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. No. All right. What are we looking forward to next week?
Master Mike Lowry.
They've managed to set him up to be both a slave master and the blackest man we've ever met at the same time.
I'm saying Will Smith and Whiteface.
Oh, hell no.
Oh my God. I hate y'all. Oh my God. Seriously, I need to know. You know who in my mind it is? In my mind, it's Tomo Pennicott. I don't know.
Yes, that could be my baby. I love me some him.
My wife glued to the television.
Listen, I love that man.
I just feel like it's going to be like a very generic. I feel like it's going to be a very generic white guy.
Hey.
Giving him more. A very generic white guy with like very chiseled features and like is secretly Batman.
I said hey because Tamo is First Nation.
I know, but let's be real. He presents as white. That's why he gets so many acting jobs. So
Jaw. He does have the Batman jaw, though.
Right?
I can totally see that.
So you're saying this is how we get Batman in the CW, DC, TV, and not Jensen Ackles?
I don't know why you keep putting that out into the world, out into the ether.
Anything out to the world. Someone else put that out into the world, and I am just reinforcing it.
Jensen Ackles will never be my Batman. Sorry. Love you, gents.
Did they cast somebody in the CW as Batman?
No.
So Jensen was visiting the Flash set or the crossover set.
Yeah.
Because he really likes Grant Gustin. I guess they're buds. And people were like, oh my God, they cast Jensen as Batman. And then Stephen Amell jumped on Twitter like, whoa, pump the brakes. He was just here visiting. He is not Batman.
Stephen Amell really wanted to say, I'm Batman.
Oh my God. You know what I will say about Stephen Amell? Because I was trolling his Twitter the other day. He does have a really good sense of humor about the fact that everybody called him Great Value Batman. Because he there was something else he was listening to, somebody's like radio show, and he was like, when one of your favorite radio hosts makes a joke about you and you want to get mad, but it's really funny. And I was like, they probably called him Great Value Batman again. So I'll give him that. He messes up mightily because he says something about Beyonce, which was the ultimate sin.
I actually saw that and I was like, come on, man.
But he does have a good sense of humor about himself. So I will give him that. So, yes. Also, speaking of the news, the crossover news, how excited are you guys for this crossover?
Super excited.
Oh my God. All of the pictures coming out of it between Steven and Grant and the matching costumes, the poster, and then the fact that they're shooting on the old Smallville set.
Yes.
This is all news to me. I really haven't been following it.
Oh my God. It's been amazing. It's been amazing.
Here's what I will say. And this is some of our listeners. Y'all gotta stop coming up with reasons to nitpick. I posted that photo of Tyler, Grant, and Steven, and they were in all black. And I was like, they were looking happy and joking and like they were having fun. And then all of a sudden, people are like, well, I hate their shoes. I'm like, are we really spending all this time watching these shows, looking at shoes? Am I watching TV wrong? Who gives a flying fuck about what's on their feet? What do we do? What are you? We not supposed to nitpick this. They gave us the Justice League movie we deserved last year, goddammit, when DC movies couldn't. Y'all gonna calm the fuck down.
And then it wasn't even...
If I recall correctly, they nitpicked that as well.
Fuck that.
But it wasn't even like they were in their superhero... Like, I've seen people nitpick about like, oh... the Flash should have these types of boots because this from the comics or like I've seen that, but basically they were in this picture. It was clearly them in between takes or whatever, and they're both wearing the identical outfits, and they're wearing these black boots which look like they have dots on them. So I'm assuming it's for some sort of CGI to be added later. So in my mind, I'm kind of like, why are we nitpicking the boots when clearly this is not what it's going to look like on screen?
Yeah.
Also, they look like just like Tim's. They were wearing like Tim's.
Because Twitter is react.
Oh, this was on Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Babies, I love you. I do. But y'all got to stop coming up with reasons to be pissy. Just relax. The world is pissy enough. We don't. If entertainment is pissing you off and irritating you that much, don't watch. Yeah. But just to get pissy about that, did you forget, for those of us in America, who the fuck our president is? And for those of you who aren't in America, are you not paying attention to the bullshit that's happening all over the world where right-wing fascism is taking over? Can we enjoy the little bit of joy that we might have left in the next few months is all I'm saying.
Well, it's not even that. Like, for me, it's just more of, in many ways, because I have been saying ever since a lot of these pictures have been coming out, it's like, is the CW reading my secret, superhero fan fiction? I honestly feel like they're giving us, at least with the superhero TV shows, they're giving us all the things that we say we want.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm just like, just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Because right now I'm enjoying I said I would give it 3 episodes. So far, they're 2 for 2 on The Flash. That Arrow premiere, Chris is very lucky that we're recording pretty much at the same time, because I would be on that Arrow premiere episode right now talking about how much I love that episode. It was amazing. The Legends comes back, I think this week. Yeah, I think tomorrow Legends comes back. And I'm out of my mind excited after that extended trailer that they dropped this week. They're giving us the things. There's literally nothing to complain about right now. Nothing at all. So,
sure about that?
I'm the TV shows. Don't do that.
I was going to say, I'm not talking about DC, but with Warner Brothers, I got a bone to pick. Yeah. But you can read my article for that.
With the CW, DC TV shows. I want to be very specific, because we're not going to talk about Titans right now.
I'm not even talking about Titans.
Oh, God. The first episode of Legends is called The Virgin Gary. I'm in. I'm in. You got me. What else do I need? So I'm just saying, be happy. They're giving us the things we said we wanted. The poster looks great. Ruby Rose as Batwoman, I don't know what her acting is going to be like, but she looks fantastic in the suit.
Now that I have seen, and she does look great.
Right. So I'm just, guys, enjoy it. Enjoy. Have fun. So, okay. So that brings us to the end of this podcast. And we will be seeing you guys next week to talk about episode 3, Master Lowry. If somebody does not make a seasoning salt joke, it will all have been for naught.
I hate you.
Can't wait for that. And anything else that we have coming up that we want to plug? Can't think of anything.
So we are 2 weeks into Doctor Who. After next week's season, after episode 4 next week, we'll have a recap out to you. And Supergirl will be out this week as well. We got a new episode tonight, so make sure you guys are watching.
Cannot wait. Yeah, this is actually a fun one to watch live. So I am going to try and watch live and live tweet. You can follow me at Shitty Moments on Twitter, and I will try my hardest to live tweet Supergirl tonight.
Doesn't this Doctor Who have a black woman who's writing it? If I checked that right.
You probably checked it right, yes.
Okay.
And also, they have like 2 companions that are people of color. I've watched the first episode, just the first one. And then also the new showrunner for Arrow is a woman. So shout out to that. I'm also going to just say that she's the reason why the show is so good right now. Just going to give her that one.
Wait, but you're only 1 episode in.
I've decided that she's made the show better, and it's going to be awesome all season.
You just turned into a Trump supporter.
There was a fight scene with Oliver where he was naked the whole scene, and it was an amazing fight scene, giving me everything I want again. Thank you, CW, for reading my fan fiction. Send you some more next week. All right. Bye.